Okay, so I hope you can see this. I filmed half of this already, that one is going to get deleted because I can't see the screen because it's dark because of the light out here, the sun. So I thought I better look at it in the shade, and I forgot to turn my camera around. So let me catch you up on where I'm at. This one right here is going to be for sweet potatoes. This one and a blue one, just like it, is going to be for the celery seeds. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, so far I have put the wood chips in it, in all three of them. I have put the some soil and conditioner, which is this red bag. Ugh. And in all three of them. And then I have put on top this organic, Performance Organic All-Purpose. It's upside down, but I can't turn it around because that's how I cut it open. I don't know if you can see that. That's going to be on top. Okay, so that's where I am now. The celery, I'm just going to sprinkle. He got me 2 packs. I'm going to sprinkle 1 pack in each one. This one and the blue one. And Photo Bomb's over there wanting in. And so I'm just going to sprinkle this on top, and I can thin it out later according to whatever grows. And then I will put a 1/4 inch soil on top. Instead of making hose and putting them in the hose, I'm just going to sprinkle them around and then put a 1/4 inch on top after first I need to water these. Oh, I'm glad I thought about that. I got to water these. Hold on. Okay, so let me put these in here so they don't spill. Let me get my other one. Hold on. So I'm going to put this in here so they don't mess up. Now, let me tell you about the sweet potato. What I did was Lee had bought us some sweet potatoes to eat, and we ate them all except for one. We didn't eat it in time, and I noticed that it had been getting small sprouts on it. So I told Lee, we're not going to eat that one. I asked him, I said, what do you think about growing it? Well, I watched one video, and in 2 weeks, I left this sitting on the counter for 2 weeks, okay? So in 2 weeks, it's grown that much. So watching the video, what he did was, he also had one, and he planted the whole thing. But what he did was, to have more sweet potatoes, he waited till the slips grew till, I don't know, his was probably about 8 or 10 inches tall, but I don't think you have to wait that long because he said he was behind on everything, and so he probably just waited that long because he didn't have the time. So I'm going to put them in. I'm going to try to grow the slips, and once the slips grow about 6 inches or something like that, maybe 4 to 6 inches depending on how healthy they look, then I'll take them out by the roots and I will replant them in a couple of different containers and try to grow them that way. This will just be kind of like the incubator for this to keep growing slips. So from what I'm understanding, if you take the slips out, it'll keep growing as long as the sweet potato itself doesn't get rotted. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I need to water all 3 of these. So I will do that first. I don't want water going everywhere because I have my phone propped up right there. So I'm going to be very careful on how I do this. Where's my... So I'll be right back. I'm just going to put the water in here. That way I can just put it in and not make a big mess. Okay, so what I did was all the others, when I planted them, I used rainwater. We don't have any more rainwater. We watered the flower bed this morning with the rest that we have. If you use tap water, you can leave it sitting out for a day or two and let all the chlorine come out of it, everything. But I didn't do that, so we're just going to go with just regular water from the hoses. So let me kind of clear a little bit of stuff out for the moment. I'll be right back. Move this for the moment. Hey honey, can you bring me that black bag? That black bag right there, over here.
Oh.
And we'll just stand it up against the fence right there.
Why is this sheet so heavy?
I know it. Thank you. Okay. So I'm trying to make some room here. So, all right. Now we're gonna put some water in because we need to water the soil good. Sorry you missed the whole first section. I thought I was filming it, but I was filming it backwards. I forgot to turn the camera around. So all of those other plants lined up right there is because we have the table in the storage building where we are painting it. Want to water them good and make sure those hose in the bottom is not stopped up. The water will drain. Nothing's coming out yet, so I guess we're gonna need some more water. Okay, this one over here is, okay, that one's draining. These two here are not draining yet. Want to make sure those hoses are not stopped up. See. Okay, it's starting to drain now. Okay. Alrighty, so that one's good. That one over there is good. I don't see anything draining on this one just yet. Oh, it is draining. It's draining from the bottom. Okay, it's draining. Okay, so that's good. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is sprinkle. I can put both of them over here now. And I'm going to sprinkle the celery seeds. Because they're so fine, there's no way I'm going to be able to put, and I know this is a whole lot, but actually this is really a whole lot, so I may just use one packet for both, because that is a lot. Well, I think I put them all on one side. So I'll open this one up and put a little bit more over here. I just won't use them all. It costs to be buried 1/4 of an inch. So we'll save these. So I'll put 1/4 of an inch of dirt on top. Okay. Excuse me. Now before I do that, because I want to do this at the same time, I put my gloves on. And just try to seed that down in there a little bit before I add more soil to it. What I'm doing is I'm just moving the soil over enough that this big potato can fit down in it, and then I will put more. Yep, just like that without, because I don't want to break those. Okay. And now, let's see. I don't know if you can see that or not. Well, I'll just leave it like that. What I did just made a hole, set it in it, put the soil around it. Now I'll add more soil and cover it all up. So, let's see, I had a little bit left in here. Just like 1/4 inch. Instead of making the holes and dropping them in, I just sprinkle them everywhere and then put about 1/4 of soil on top, and then I'll end up watering the seeds again, just like I did all my other ones. If you watch my other videos, that's what I did on my other ones. I'll have to get 2 more plastic deals out and write on it celery. I think I have a couple of plastic forks. I know there's more in there. Oh, it is come out. Okay. Alrighty, so I just need to water those. Water the seeds. Those are technically done, except for me writing celery. Do that. Let me see, where did I have them? I think I had them in my other container. One knife, and I have another one. Don't have another one, So I'm going to use this one that says bunch of onions, mark it out, and right on the back side of it. Oh, marker's in here. See? Okay. And I'm going to write celery. Celery. That one will go in here. And this says bunch of onions, so I want to mark that out. Put celery. Celery. And that's going to go in that one. Put it like this. Okay? I have a few of these I'm saving for Lee, where his pumpkins are. Once they start growing, it's going to be hard to see what pumpkins are what, so I'm going to get some sticks, and I'm going to tape his onto the stick so he can see them. But I'm going to swipe one of these and put sweet potato slips. That way, I'll remind myself. I'll just sit it there for now. That way I'll remind myself when they get about 4 inches or so to take them out of the soil, roots and all, and replant them. So these two are done. Next, I need to put some more soil on here. So let's see here. I need to cut that open on top. Normally I just cut them on the side because I normally use a whole bag at a time with as many as I had been doing, but this is the only one left to do. And I want to experience, it might be too late. I don't think so. I did Google for 6A, zone 6A, and it said a couple weeks after the frost, because they recommend doing the slips inside. Never again will I do anything inside. So hopefully we're catching it okay on time. This is the Performance Organic All-Purpose Soil, and so I've got to put enough to bury that sweet potato. Because we got to make sure that those slips stay watered, but it's got to have good drainage so that sweet potato don't rot. These bags right here, I cannot pick up. I always have to get Lee to pick them up for me because they are freaking heavy. So if you have back problems or whatever, don't try to pick these up yourself. Get somebody else to pick them up for you. Being gentle right now because I'm putting them around those, I don't know, I call them potato eyes. So on the regular potatoes, and on these I'll still call them sweet potato eyes. I'm sure that's not the correct term for them, but because I'm just learning, I'm sure maybe by next year I'll learn the correct words for them. put a fan up in there in our little supply area right here where we sit and cool off. He put the bug zapper in that I showed on my live. Well, he also put a fan in here, so when we get so hot we can sit up underneath there and cool off. And these are just going to have to sit here on this table because I won't be doing any more planting until I have to start separating stuff. But our tables has got to get done first. Meaning, putting my gloves on. I don't want to get the soil all in my fingernails. It's hard to get them out of my fingernails.
Well, I've lost my glasses. Anyway.
You have your, in the case?
Yep.
In the storage building on top of the freezer. I seen them there when I came over here.
I went ahead and got them, but I don't know where to put them.
Oh, they're not in there? Oh. Okay.
I found them.
Okay.
I'm getting hungry.
I'm almost done.
What?
Which do you want? Okay, that's done. Now remember, your first choice of water is always rainwater. The second choice is to put your tap water in a bucket or container, let it sit for 1 or 2 days so the chlorine can come out. It's better for the plants. Or your last deal is to just use tap water, which I just did because I don't have any more rainwater. We used it this morning, and then I don't have anything sitting out. So anyway, I'm fixing to put this in here, right there. Photo bomb is right underneath me, and that's it. Oh, and I just stepped on her. Sorry, kitty. Okay, so we finally got the tables painted. Lee has stained the porch, the back porch, deck, whatever you want to call it. We've got photo bomb here trying to get in the picture right underneath my feet so you can see right there. Now, this is what we've been doing for the last 2 or 3 days. Oh, I almost tripped over this one here. Hey. Hey. What are you doing? Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? So, we finally got the work table painted. I want you to look at this. I can't even take a step. Okay, so we got it all painted. And we got all of the tables painted barn red. And the pole there for the solar. I'm hoping the hummingbirds will come out. The whole time I've been out here working yesterday, today, me and Lee going back and forth, the hummingbirds are, they keep coming. That just looks so refreshing. It looks like it needs a little bit more water. So I'm hoping the common birds come back out, but everything I had on the tables now is rearranged because we had to take everything off, sit them down on the ground, and get them all done. Now everything is growing except for the ginger. The ginger is the only thing so far that has not come up. And then of course at the beginning of this video where I planted some celery and some a sweet potato so I can get some slips out of it. We have gotten, this one's still underneath my feet. We have gotten the tape and the copper coated shit, I done forgot what it's called. Anyway, you can see it there, to keep slugs out, to keep the slugs from climbing up, and to keep the ants out. So they're on the back of every table, and on the front I run out, but we have the tape to also keep them out on all of them. And since I'm only doing like an update once a week, I'll just show you. You gotta look like really close and you can see them all sprouting. I took out a couple of these last night when we ate some salad and cut up the greens on top. Sweet peppers coming up. They're all coming up. The radish. The radish is coming up. I can't even find where it was at. I hope that the bugs didn't eat the seed that was coming up. Oh, this is a rosemary. Okay, so where you at, little rosemary? I know it was coming up because I seen it. And I probably dumped some dirt on it when I was moving everything around. Oh, right there it is. Looky. Right there. Rosemary. And you can see everything else is coming up. I've got some more table scraps inside. I'm gonna have to fill some of these bottles back up. It's the oregano right there. This is what I just planted, so there's nothing in those yet. Wow. Okay, so all of this was buried before, so overnight they've sprouted up out of the dirt. Huh. That's a sweet potato, so that I can cut some sweet potato slips, put them in water, and then as they start rooting, then I can plant them. So everything is coming up. Okay, and then the next table, like I say, everything is moved out of its spots. Nothing is where it was before. I was just really trying my best to get everything up off of the ground. And so the ants, and this is the sage coming up, so that the ants and everything else wasn't, where is that? This is the spearmint. You can see them coming up. Peppermint. So, right here. That's the garlic coming up. So, the zucchini. Now, the roly-polies are eating the zucchini. There's the second one coming up, but you can see they're being eaten. I did some research on it, and it says if you get like a orange, and what do you want? Hey, why don't you go home? You don't live here. Why don't you go home? If you get an orange and cut the orange in half and lay the orange in there around the plant face down, the roly-polies will go to the orange. And then just every morning you take the orange and like just knock all of them off into a bucket or something, all the roly-polies into a bucket. Do that on all of them, and then just walk to wherever you want to dump the roly-polies out away from the garden. But you can tell where that one is being eaten. And the other zucchinis are coming along. That one's been, something's been munching on it too, which are all roly-polies. So those are all zucchinis. Then we got the watermelon here. Right there. I stepped on the spoon and broke it when I was painting. And then we got 2 watermelons coming up here. I need to go, and then our gourds are not coming up yet. So yeah, this is it. And I was hoping the hummingbirds, I might sit out here for a little bit, and if I catch a hummingbird, I'll tack it onto the end of this. Oh, I was gonna say I may have to go to the store and buy like a small bag of, or a bag of small oranges. So I'm gonna sit for a while, and if you see the hummingbirds, that means I actually finally caught them. As you can see, this is where we are carrying each table into one by one in the storage building and painting it. Flipping it over upside down, painting it, letting all that dry. Coming back, flipping it back right side up, painting all that, letting it dry. Taking it back in and bringing another one out till they all got done. So we had some of the red barn paint left over, and Lee used it to paint the trimming on his he shed. He done a pretty good job. Let's see. Yep. He done a good job. He shed. She shed.